So guys, if it's your first time here, thank you for showing up. So in today's video, we're going to look at what the EFF president, that is President Julius Malema of South Africa, speaking unequivocally about African unity. In fact, he just released this statement immediately the southern part of Africa, their football national team, lost to Mexico.
South Africa, Bafana Bafana must officially withdraw. SAFA must take a decision to withdraw from having anything to do with the World Cup that is taking place in America. When a country starts disrespecting international law, which declared that apartheid is a crime against humanity, and other people still wanted to trade with South Africa, a lot of countries refused to trade with South Africa because it was violating human rights, it was violating international law. So we must boycott the World Cup in America and boycott anything that has got to do with America, because we cannot sit back and allow a person to destabilize the world and it becomes business as usual. That is an act of cowardice. We must understand something fundamental. In the global system, Africans only truly have one another. Europe will defend European interests. America will defend American interests. China will defend Chinese interests. Africa must defend African interests. Fellow Africans, the dream of Africa, of a united Africa, is not impossible. It is possible to establish a common African currency in the future. It is possible to build integrated rail and transport system from Cape to Cairo. It is possible to establish African-controlled financial institutions that free us from dependency on the IMF and World Bank. It is possible to create visa-free movement across the continent. It is possible to create universities that lead the world into science.
What happened when South Africa played against Mexico? Honestly speaking, it was unimagined of. Because, logically speaking, it was incumbent of all African countries to be supporting South Africa. But that was never the case. Do you know why? Because of the recent xenophobic attacks that has been happening in the southern part of Africa. In fact, we no longer call it xenophobic attack. We call it Afrophobic attack, because most of businesses which are foreign owned in southern part of Africa, they're still continuing their operations. More so businesses that are being owned by the Indians, the Asians, the Chinese, they're still operational. But those ones that are owned by Africans, unfortunately, they're not operational. Now, what happened when South Africa played against Mexico was something that has never happened before. It has never happened before because of what they did or what they are doing to Africa. And here, Julius Malema is talking passionately against what is happening in southern part of Africa. In fact, Julius Malema, he is the only politician in the southern part of Africa who is passionately and unequivocally speaking against xenophobic attack, speaking against Afrophobic attacks. So even though most people actually, they don't love what Malema is doing, because Malema somehow has that spirit of Pan-Africanism. Malema has that spirit of Pan-Africanism. He is speaking against what is happening in southern part of Africa. In this video, Malema is condemning that. At the same time, he's saying that, look, you as the Bafana Bafana is the national team of South Africa. You as Bafana Bafana, you have to withdraw from the World Cup. Why? Because you are doing the wrong thing, and you are saying the right thing, and you're doing the wrong thing, which is the opposite. So, in real sense, football as a sport, it has to unite us. But you as Bafana Bafana, who are South Africans, you are not uniting Africans. You are dividing Africa. That is why there was a serious protest against the match that was happening between Mexico and southern part of Africa. That nearly all of Africa, 95% of Africans, they were supporting Mexico, which is not good actually. It is not good because we as Africans have to support our fellow African, but the situation, the circumstance, it just made all of Africa to be against South Africa. The 5% who are supporting South Africa basically are those just South Africans. In fact, even Malema himself, the EFF president, I don't think he was supporting his countrymen. He was not doing that. But that is the spirit of Pan-Africanism. Okay? So you have to be so strict when you are dealing with matters Africans, when you are dealing with matters unity within Africa. Malema is showing us the right way. Even the president of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa is not even tackling what is going on in South Africa. He's just speaking. In fact, he is speaking because he is being pressured to speak. You can't tell me that the entire South Africa is not working towards realization of what is happening in South Africa. That is not the case. You mean that southern part of Africa, the leaders, the police, they cannot combat what is going on in South Africa? That is not the case. Then it means there are some senior politicians who are funding this and who are aware of what is happening in South Africa. Malema is only speaking whenever people are pressuring him to speak. And permit me to say this. I believe, me personally, I believe, if Malema, or rather if Julius Ramaphosa, Cyril Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, if he makes a mistake to visit an African country, there will be protest in that country against what Ramaphosa is going to do in that country. There will be protests. In fact, I was expecting protests all over Africa against what is happening in South Africa. I was expecting that. And I totally believe that if Cyril Ramaphosa makes a visit, a diplomatic visit to an African country, there must be protest against him because he's not tackling what is happening in his country real time. He has to be pressured. Even though he's being pressured, we don't see things moving the way they are supposed to move. We're not seeing things moving the way they are supposed to move. At the end of the day, we are also Africans and we respect the rule and the laws of South Africa. We are against illegal immigrants. But what we are asking is that can't it be done in a proper way? If someone is illegally in southern part of Africa, can the law take its course? Can this person go to the court or alternatively just be sent back to his or her own country? Lawfully, okay? Lawfully, not with the use of violence that I am seeing over the internet. So fellow Africans, Africa must unite, and we have to unite immediately. We have to unite immediately. And I know we also have a football match. I think it's maybe on Tuesday next week, South Africa versus South Korea. 95% of Africans, they'll be supporting South Korea. Why? They are saying that South Africa should come back and protect their jobs. Because that is the norm. They are saying that other Africans, they are taking their jobs. So they should come back faster and take back their jobs. Yeah. So most of Africans, they will be supporting South Korea. Believe you me. And you've seen the memes all over the internet mocking South Africa. That is bad. They are showing us bad example. But it's my hope that this one will come to an end. It's my hope that the president of South Africa will apologize to the rest of Africa. And I love the president of Ghana, that is John Dramani Mahama. President Mahama is saying that, look, you South Africans are doing the wrong thing. And in fact, I even wonder with African Union, because African Union have not condemned what is happening in southern part of Africa. And even if they've condemned, they are not doing serious actions to deal with what is happening in Africa, southern part of Africa. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for showing up. If it's your first time here, kindly show me some love by subscribing to this channel. Until we meet next time, bye bye for now.